moving on to the play. We're not doing all of them because of time, but we're doing player of the season. And Giuseppe, you have gone for Martin Odegaard.
Yeah. Well, originally I put on I wasn't going to put Odegaard. I was going to put Zubi, but then I realized they ain't coming to the Premier League. No, sorry, I just had to get one little dig on Tom there. Now, yeah, Odegaard, man. I think this is going to be a season. I think this season he's going to level up, and I think at the end of the season, people will be calling him world class. That's just me. People might think I'm wrong, but yeah, man, Odegaard, he just seems like more. I just look at him and he just seems more mature. He was already getting it last season. That second half of the season last year, he leveled up. Like he come back from when he had that niggle and that, had a little time out, come back and he just seemed like he'd leveled up. And I think this season he's going to be the player of the season. I think if we win the league, I think he'll be the main reason. Personally,
he could be. Kate, you have gone with Rodri of Manchester City again.
Yeah, best player in the Premier League, in my opinion. One of the best players, if not the best player in the world. I just think he's different gravy, and he's just brilliant every season. And I think he will be player of the season this year, in my opinion, even though I haven't put Man City to win the league.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
I think you'll find it does. Kane was one of the best players in the league many times, and yet Tottenham never won rock all.
No, I mean,
facts.
They're not going to give Rodri. They're not going to give Rodri the award if Arsenal win the league. They're going to give it to an Arsenal player.
That's not
right.
Many a times it's happened. The year that Man United won the treble, David Ginola won it.
Oh, okay. My point is, what's the chances they give it to a defensive midfielder?
Can I just say something, Ego? You're so sensitive about Arsenal. I've put you to win the league and you're still crying like a little girl because I didn't put one of your players.
Kate, hear my logic. When you win that award and your team hasn't won the league, usually you're an attacker who has scored an absurd amount of goals. I don't know the last time they gave Premier League player of the season to a player who didn't win the league that's not an attacking player.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
No, but Kevin De Bruyne, even himself, he's a midfielder who's an attacker.
Vidic.
Like, when was the last time you seen a defensive midfielder or a centre back or a left back or a goalkeeper win an award when their team didn't win it? I think that's a valid point.
Can I ask you a question though? When was the last time we saw a defensive midfielder who is as pivotal and as good for his team as Rodri is? Where literally the last year, barring a lot. Look, Kante was amazing. I'm not putting him down at all. But Rodri barely loses a game when he plays. Barely loses a game. And then and we can say his team carries him or whatever. As soon as he's out of that team, they lose. Like the impact he has is ridiculous. So
and
I
to be
think
fair, Ego, although I've done you to win the league, I don't think you're going to trounce the league. I think it'll be 1 or 2 points in it. You're just going to edge it. So there's no reason that Rodri can't be player of the season. But I'm sorry
all I'm asking is, somebody please tell me a time where a non-attacker from another team,
Van Dijk in 2018-19,
that didn't win the league, won it.
Van Dijk in 2018-19.
You guys lost and he won it.
Yeah, we didn't win the league that year, but Van Dijk still won Player of the Year.
Fair enough.
So it's happened.
Sorry, Kate. That's all right.
Third favourite for the Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah.
No, but then, once again, when Van Dijk won it, you won the league.
No, we didn't. Kevin De Bruyne won it the year we won the league.
That is true.
So 2 years running, you had a midfielder, not an attacker, and a defender, not an attacker, that won it when they didn't win the league. So it's happened 2 years running, Miguel, recently. We're moving on. Tom, we're going to Tom. You have picked Rodri as well.
Mm-hmm. Best player in the best team in the league.
How dare you, mate? You should be embarrassed.
He's the best player in the best team in the league. I saw the stat today. They have a 25% win rate without him, or 75% loss rate without him, and a 0% loss rate with him in like the Premier League last season or whatever it was, which is the most mental stat going. And once again, City still haven't bought him a backup, so he's going to be playing the majority of the games. So he's not going to be subject to Pep roulette. So he's going to be getting 35, 36, 37 games, barring injury and suspension. So if Rodri just has another Rodri season, it's his. He should have, in my opinion, he should have won it last year. he was the best player on the best team. This year, I think he will just improve again, going off the back of winning the Euros with Spain. And I think that he'll win it again. And he is the most important part of that City side. And I'm backing them to go 5 in a row. So I think this is the year that he finally gets his flowers.
David, you have gone with Haaland to get it this year.
I think he's just going to get another 35 goals or something ridiculous. Sorry. Like, I still think Arsenal going to win the league, but I just think he's going to score so many goals. And again, last year he wasn't fit for the whole season, and he's just going to be like, do you know what? Every time he's gonna like, if he misses a chance, I can't even put into words how good he is, because it's like every time he misses a chance, I back him to score the next 5 of those chances he missed. Like, he's just scoring so many goals. He'll score 30, 35.
I need to know something. You have Arsenal winning the league, but you have Declan Rice as an underachiever and Erling Haaland winning the thing. So is Partey replacing Declan Rice and he's on the bench or something?
Can I not hedge my bets? Can I not?
No, it just kind of contradicts. It kind of contradicts your other prediction.
Gal, you got to realize David's already said it's an agenda.
It's an agenda. Do you get me? Like, Gal, like, again, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't pick Bukayo Saka or Martinelli to like appease yourself. I'm so sorry, bro. But like, I just think Haaland's sick, and he's gonna.
No, Haaland makes sense. Haaland makes sense. I was just trying to understand.
32 goals. And also, yeah. If Rice gets benched by Thomas Partey, then what? What happens? Am I wrong?
You see?
Am I wrong?
We finally got there. That's what you mean.
Am I wrong? Can I? If you can see the pathway, why can't I have my agenda and the pathway? Like, come on, man.
I just wanted to ask.
Igal, you have gone for William Saliba as the player of the season. Tell us why, mate. Tell us why.
I just think William Saliba is going to show everybody that he's the best center back in the world this season, and he's going to make sure we have one of our best defensive records in Premier League history. He's an Iron Man. He stays fit. When he plays, he makes football look easy, and I think he has one of the best winning percentages in Premier League history for the games that he's played. He's almost won every single game. I think he's only seen like a handful of losses in his whole Premier League career. And that's a credit to how good he is defensively, and also a credit to how good the team has come in the time that he's been here. And I just think if we do win the league, he is going to be the guy who shines. And I know it's as a defender, but I do think he will be the guy who stands out and shows everybody that he is up there as one of the best players in the world.
That contradicts a little bit of what you said to Gate, because if we win the league, if you think that they'll give it to Saliba over Saka or Odegaard, if we win the league, knowing how much
here's why
to win the league.
Oh, 1 second.
I think it's wrong.
1 second. Here's why I think Saliba's going to win it. I think everyone's going to look at Arsenal and they're going to say, you know what? Saka's chipping in here. Odegaard's chipping in there. Havertz is chipping in there. You got Martinelli or Trossard chipping in there. But then they look over to the defense. They're going to say, this guy Saliba has been the guy who's going to hold it down for the whole year. And he's just he's the guy who I think is the closest thing to one of the best in his position in the world. And I don't think anybody else in our team, you could say that.
Where would you rank him in the world?
At this moment in time, because he hasn't gotten those trophies yet, I would say he's easily top 3.
Can you put him above Rudiger?
I put Rudiger in the top 3. I'm not saying in any particular
last
order.
night was just
You put Rudiger in there. You put Rudiger in there. You put Saliba in there, and you put Van Dijk in there. I think right now he's shown last season he's a better player than Ruben Diaz. I think he's shown last season.
What about Militao or Alaba?
He's better than those guys. The only guys that are in this conversation right now are Van Dijk in his prime and Rudiger right now. That's it.
Van Dijk in his prime, not Van Dijk now.
So you're telling me Van Dijk now isn't in the same conversation?
Van Dijk now has ups and downs. His age is he's not that old.
He's not
have ups and downs.
Igal, let me ask you a question. You made the top 3. Who do you put number 1?
Sorry?
Who do you put number 1?
Number 1?
Who's the best centre back in the world?
What do you mean for what? What we're talking about?
Yeah. Sorry, I got lost for a second. So right now, I would say Rudiger's number 1. I would say Saliba second, Van Dijk third.
I know a gal wants to put Saliba number 1. I know. I can see
I just basically can't put him number 1 right now. I think because of how good Rudiger has been for the last calendar year, and plus the stupidness of me doing that combined 11 and leaving Rudiger out. I do feel really dumb right now. So I got to put Rudiger in there. But outside of that, I think last year and the year before that, no bias, I think Saliba has had better season than Van Dijk in the Premier League, both seasons. And you could say Liverpool are a worse team, but in those 2 seasons, I think hands down he's shown he's a better player right now. And
I'm
he
not
will
saying I
continue
agree
to
with
be.
this, Egal, but you do know that Romero's numbers were actually better than Saliba's last season.
And
Just
guess
saying.
what? Mustafi's numbers were better than Van Dijk's his first season also.
Yeah, but Mustafi didn't get man of the match in back-to-back Copa Americas, did he?
Yeah,
and
but
win the World Cup.
I
But
will
he did
say
win the
something,
World
though.
Cup.
When you,
One
when
second,
you're
he
t-
did.
when-
Mustafi
Oh,
did
what,
win
he
the
won the
World
World
Cup. Mustafi
Okay.
did win the World Cup.
Not when he was
Saliba
like,
don't let himself get. I'm just gonna say, Saliba don't let himself get into them situations that
As a team,
Romero
we don't
get
let
into
ourselves
to
face
ma-
those
to
many
get them
shots.
stats. to
Again,
stack
also,
them.
I heard fans last year saying that Gabriel.
Guys, it's not unbelievable that the best defender on a team that wins the league based on how good their defense is, which I believe that's how we're going to win the league, is going to then get credited to that. Same way Cannavaro did, same way Ivanovic, sorry,
And
not
that-
Ivanovic.
Yeah. And that's fair. I think that's fair. Vidic. No, I think that's fair.
All I'm gonna
Henry.
say,
Sorry, go on,
sorry.
David, then we'll move on.
So
go on,
I was
mate,
going
go
to
on.
say, I think the only way Arsenal centre backs win the Player of the Season is if you get close to Chelsea's record, and let's be honest, that ain't happening.
I think it's arguable that we could have a really good defensive season, one of the best defensive seasons we've seen since Man City's season where Ruben Diaz won it. So
Could happen. Henry, your player of the season, you have gone for Phil Foden back to back.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got to ask you first, though.
thinker.
And I need a serious answer about
It's
this.
nothing to do with my haircut.
Is it the haircut? The hair?
No,
I mean,
it's
is
nothing to do
that
with
what
my
it
haircut.
is? Okay, all right, go on then, bruv. Go on.
One, I think he last year was absolutely unbelievable. In the biggest games, he dragged them through alongside Rodri. Number 2, I think he's got the best PR in the Premier League. And as soon as he has a great performance, the Premier League love to talk about him. And I just think they're going to be even more dependent on him this season. Can De Bruyne play that many games this season? Oscar Bob out injured. I think in that position, there isn't, and I know Giuseppe and Igal gave me like Odegaard. There isn't a 10 in the league I'll take over Foden. I think he's absolutely mustard. In an England shirt, different question. But for City, in Pep's system, I think he's going to have an unbelievable season. I think he could get 20 league goals. I think he's going to have a top season, be player of the season. And the Premier League love him. He can't do no wrong. So he's on the top of the mountain already for them.
The Premier League love him, but he can do wrong for England. And
Yeah,
I
for
think,
England, as I said, it's a different argument. He was
It
trash.
will- I hear that 100%. I do think that if Arsenal win the league, they will give it to an Arsenal player just because Arsenal haven't won.
Oh,
the
yeah,
league
that's a
in
different
so
argument.
long.
But if City win the league,
But we know that
I'm going to
once again,
contradict myself.
I hardly ever agree with the Player of the Season award. I'll be honest. I can't remember
Yeah,
a
it's a
time
PR
where
thing.
I've agreed with that. Even last season, it should have been Rodri, 100%. Foden shouldn't have got it over
Wait,
Rodri.
it should have been Palmer last year. That's not what
I'll go away, man.
It should have been Palmer. He was
But
cooking.
Palmer that young player.
last season was like
He should have got both.
scoring worldies at the
Oh, what?
Bernabeu.
For finishing 5th.
6.
Mhm. 6th. Still, yes, 100%. Do you know what he did? He put a whole
Okay.
team on his back. A whole
I
team on
want
his
to
back.
talk about Foden.
And Ollie Watkins didn't for Villa.
If Man City don't win the league, which I expect them not to win it this year, I think one of the reasons why they don't win it is because Foden doesn't reach the levels that he reached last season. Last season, the guy was winning games on his own, carrying City at times. I think they're gonna find it a little bit harder this season, especially with the fact that Kevin De Bruyne is getting a little bit older. Erling Haaland's going to have to do a little bit more on his own. And some of the peripheral pieces are not as good as the teams that they've had in the past. So
I think
we'll
it's
have
going to be
to,
different.
we'll have to
though,
wait and
because
see. But I do think Foden takes a little bit of a dip this season. And that is where one of the main catalysts in them not winning the league.
their forwards now are going to be a lot more direct running in behind. And there's going to be City's game plan is going to be to have a lot more space in the middle of the park. But Savinho and Doku are going to be so direct, kind of like Madrid do it with inside forwards with Vinny and Rodrigo. Foden's going to get so. I think Foden will get so many chances in and around the edge of the box. And last season, Worldies at the Bernabeu, last game of the season, to settle the nerves. 20 minutes in, there's a quick breaks. I think I don't think De Bruyne will. I think De Bruyne will be saved to the bigger games, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Liverpools. But I think Foden will start at least 32, 33 Premier League games next season. And with the season he had last year, I think he's going to follow on. Like I said, in the Euros, he was extremely disappointing. But for City, some players are just better at club level.
Yeah. I hear you on
Henry
that.
talks
Viewers,
football
look,
video coming in.
Facts.
viewers.
Oh my
we
God,
want-
Foden player of the season.
There we land.